How can I be so confident that the meditation routine I share with you in this video has the power to 10x your income? Well, because I use the exact same way of meditating with Joe Dispenza's meditations to not just 10x my income, but to 30x my income. And if I can go from making less than $1,000 a month to making more than $30,000 a month, don't you think that you will be able to at least 10x your income? That's why in today's video I share the exact Joe Dispenza inspired 5-step meditation routine that made me financially free. And I reveal what you absolutely must do before every meditation in order to reach the frequency of abundance high enough to manifest hundreds of thousands of dollars. My favorite time to meditate with Joe Dispenza's meditations, and why waiting for 10 minutes longer can already sabotage your success, and the crazy things that might happen during and after your meditation that guide you directly to your desire. There is a 99% chance that you are missing out on the biggest opportunity to reach the frequency of abundance during a meditation. Because in his best-selling book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza describes that meditating allows us to go beyond the analytical mind into the subconscious mind. And what is hidden deep in the subconscious mind? Everything we want to change. And I've been to 3 Joe Dispenza week-long advanced retreats. I've been meditating with Joe Dispenza's meditations for more than 5 years, and often I do them multiple times a day. And I can tell you from my own personal experience that nothing, and I mean nothing, is harder than to change, because here's the truth. Our subconscious mind is not only home to our beliefs and perceptions, but it's also the place where all the behaviors that we want to leave behind are hidden. That's why it's time to bring these behaviors to the surface, to continuously transform them, and to use this transformation process to prime ourselves for the meditation. And this is so important that the universe wants you to remember this. Priming yourself for the day keeps the doctor away. No matter if I meditate with Joe Dispenza's meditation, tuning into new potentials, or synchronizing your energy to abundance, or if I go deep into synchronizing your energy to a new life, my manifestation process begins before the meditation starts. And this leads us to meditation step number 1, energetic alignment before the meditation. Here's why this is so important. When you bring your mind and your body in energetic alignment with the frequency you want to reach, and you do this before the meditation even starts, you are already in the state that you hope to reach during the meditation. This makes immersing yourself in the meditation so much easier. And now that you're already in the frequency of abundance before you even sit down to meditate, you can reach the frequency so much faster than if you don't align yourself to the frequency of abundance before the meditation. And the money that you desire can come to you so much faster, and it doesn't have to go all the way until it finally reaches you. And that's why I now want to share the exact practical steps that I take to align myself to the frequency of abundance before I even sit down to meditate. Step number 1. No matter if I do the meditation right after waking up or if I do it in the middle of the day, I always walk for 1 or 2 minutes as the abundant self. Because my abundant self walks with big confident steps. My abundant self has a bright smile on his face. Because, well, why wouldn't you smile when you're rich and wealthy? I walk confidently. I walk slowly because I have all the money and the time in the world. And this already primes me to the frequency of abundance, which then allows me, when I sit down to meditate, to already feel so abundant. And this leads us to step number 2. While I'm walking as the abundant self, I work with affirmations. And these can be short affirmations such as I am wealthy, I am rich, I am abundant, I am free. Any affirmation that for you makes you feel abundant, that makes it easier for you to reach the frequency of abundance. And this leads me to step number 3. Every now and then I also physically express the abundance and I go into my yeehaw move. I'm just going to show it right now. Yeehaw or yay or whatever you want to call it. If you watch How I Met Your Mother, you can also call it the woo girl move. I have no idea, but you just go into this physical expression of abundance where you go yes, and you really feel it. And this can help your body to really feel, okay, I'm abundant. Now let's get started with the meditation. And then there's step number 4, and that's when I then sit down to meditate. I for a moment remind myself of my intention. And I also remind myself of the emotions that I want to feel. For example, I repeat in my mind the intention, I make $40,000 a month. And then I also remind myself of the emotion that I want to feel, which might be freedom, it might be gratitude. And then I have the right intention and the right focus to start the meditation, which means I'm giving my best. And when you're giving your best, inevitably, you will reach the frequency of abundance. Now, what if I told you that I don't take a shower before my first Joe Dispenza meditation of the day?
Yes, he really means that, oh God.
Yep, that's how committed I am to meditating, even if I open the windows and the birds are falling from the tree. And here's why. Do you see that? Do you see this one? Those are my thoughts going completely haywire. In the year 2020, my manifestation journey began with a severe health issue. I was bedridden with severe nerve damage that was so painful that I was screaming in pain whenever I put my boxer shorts on, and every doctor I consulted told me that if it's not healed by now, it won't heal anymore. And just a couple of months later, I was completely healed. How is that possible? It's possible because I started every morning immediately with a Joe Dispenza meditation. And this was absolutely crucial because the moment I opened my eyes, all these negative thoughts and feelings that had created this miserable situation in the first place were floating in my mind. I doubted that things would ever get better. I felt unworthy. I felt hopeless. I knew that if I ever wanted to change and therefore change my life and my physical situation, I had to get over all these limiting beliefs, all these limiting thoughts that were tormenting me all the time and that began tormenting me the moment I opened my eyes in the morning. And the reason why I had to do this every morning as soon as possible is because the longer you wait with doing it, the more time your thoughts and your limiting beliefs and also the associated negative emotions have in order to then terrorize you, to torment you, and to multiply. And that's why every minute counts, sometimes even every second, because in his book, You Are the Placebo, Joe Dispenza describes that by us thinking about what is going on and what might happen during the day, we are already in the predictable future. But it gets even worse. In his book, Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza describes that if we wake up with the thought, where is my pain? Then it won't take long until the pain is there because we expect it to be there. Now, what does this phenomenon has to do with your ability to 10x your income? Well, pain doesn't just always have to be physical. It can also be the mental pain of how do I pay my bills? Will I lose my house? What if I can't keep up with my bills? And if in the morning you allow these thoughts to creep back in and to multiply, then the associated emotions will also multiply. And then you're in the predictable future again. And that's why we have to cut this cord as soon as possible, as fast as possible. And this leads us to meditation step number 2. Your breakfast and emails can wait. Start your meditation right after you wake up. Yes, brushing your teeth is okay, at least if you had a kebab and a garlic smoothie the night before, but then sit down to meditate. And here's why. The more time you give all these negative thoughts and emotions that are currently limiting your reality to find you, the more of them will find you. It might just take minutes until they have a tight grip on you. And what happens then? You might not even do your morning meditation because the old self is taking over and telling you, I don't have time for that, let's go, let's answer emails, come on, let's go in the stress response. And even if you do your meditation, it will be so much harder for you to reach the frequency of abundance and to stay there because you are already in the stress response. And then during the day, you will be irritated, you will be reactive, and then at the end of the day, you will be exhausted and nothing has changed in your life. And that's why it's so important to act fast. But after having successfully started your day by meditating, right after brushing your teeth, and maybe even right after getting rid of the kebab from the night before, there is one more thing you absolutely have to expect when you're meditating with Joe Dispenza's meditations. I, as somebody who has been to 3-week-long advanced retreats, I've seen a lot and I've heard a lot. People moaning, people screaming, people shaking, and it's not always authentic. However, sometimes it is. And I still remember how at the very first Joe Dispenza retreat I went to, a lot of people in the beginning were moaning and screaming. I mean, it sounded like an orgasm festival until Joe Dispenza then said, if you have your moment, it's okay. But if the staff recognizes that it's fake, then there will be consequences. And suddenly during the next meditation, the whole room was quiet. But what if you don't do it for attention? What if something within you just has to express itself and you just have to allow yourself to feel the emotions? Then allow yourself to do it. And the universe knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, this feels so good.
Yep, your next meditation might not be the most routine-like experience. And this leads us to meditation step number 3. Expect the unexpected and go with the flow. What if your body is shaking?
Then you let it shake.
But seriously, I had meditations that looked like this. That's not too unusual. And what if you just can't and don't want to hold back when expressing the elevated emotions? Then do this. That's also okay. And what if you get a direct download, an idea for a business or a product right during the meditation? Don't be afraid to pause the meditation, to write it down, and to then go back into the meditation. That's at least my personal opinion. Because in the past, I thought to myself, I have to first finish the meditation, and then I forgot the idea again. I forgot what the universe provided me with as a direct download. Because I was afraid that I couldn't get back into
space. Nothing.
As Joe Dispenza likes to say it. But now that I follow these simple steps, I get the idea, then I pause the meditation, then I write the meditation down, then I say thank you for the insight, for the direct download, then I press play again and continue the meditation. Since then, I'm so much more relaxed and the universe sends me all these direct downloads in my analytical German brain. And if you also want to receive countless direct downloads, business ideas, product ideas, amazing synchronicities for your abundant dream life that lead you directly to your abundant dream life, then I invite you to go to affirmation2manifestation.com/abundance or to click on the first link in the description to find out more about my 8-week one-on-one coaching program, the Abundance Reality Shift Coaching Program, and all the bonuses that are included and the very special bonus session that you get for joining this month. Now, what if I told you that you've been doing this whole visualizing thing wrong? At least if you're doing this. I just can't see any 4K pictures. I don't see colors. It's not that clear. I can't visualize. There's honestly nothing that I've heard more often in my now more than 4 years of working as a manifestation coach. And yes, it's been more than 4 years. My podcast is around for way longer than my YouTube channel. So yep, the one thing I heard over and over again is, I can't visualize. Well, that sucks.
Sucks to be you, sucks to be you.
I'm sorry, the universe didn't mean that. What the universe really wanted to say is that so many people struggle with visualizing because they put way too much pressure on themselves. And yes, I get it. In most Joe Dispenza meditations, it's all about seeing your future. I mean, Joe Dispenza famously said that the brain, and yes, that's your brain, cannot distinguish between an experience that you only imagine and an experience that you actually experience in your physical reality. And in his book, You Are the Placebo, he even describes how being happy in the moment and combining this feeling of happiness with a clear vision of the future is the perfect recipe for manifesting. So yes, he wants us to embrace our vision for the future. However, while visualizing is an essential part of the meditation process, at least when you're doing Joe Dispenza's meditations, the pictures are not always clear. Sometimes you might see shadows. Then there are other times where you see your future like a pencil drawing. Go with the flow instead of putting yourself under pressure. But in the end, it doesn't matter if you see a 4K clear image, if you see the dust on the dollar bills that you want to manifest. What truly matters is that you're relaxed about it. The universe cares way more about you being relaxed than about how clear the image is. As long as you send the intention out by knowing what you want and by following the 3 simple rules for visualizing, everything will work out. And these rules are to visualize in the first person perspective, because that's when you're truly immersed in the experience, to add your senses to it, sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, all of that makes the picture feel alive. And number 3, to choose the elevated emotion with which you combine this clear intention that gives you the most emotional woo-hoo-hoo. But besides that, it's all about being relaxed and not putting too much pressure on yourself. Then the universe receives your order list, it receives the message that you send out, the intention that you send into the field, and the universe can then say,
Oh, let me check. Yes, I received your order. It will be sent out soon.
Now you just have to draw the experience back to you with the elevated emotion so that the universe can do this.
Here are some cookies for you. Here are even more cookies for you.
This leads us to meditation step number 4. Visualize and feel in the most relaxed way possible. And because this video is all about 10xing your income, I want to ask you now, how would you feel if you were making 10 times the amount that you're making right now? How would you feel if you were truly abundant? For me personally, I always feel free. I feel grateful. I feel in love with life when I think about my abundant life. What is it for you? Let me know in the comments below. I would really love to hear from you. Let me know which emotions you associate with your abundant dream life, and I promise I'll reply to your comment. Now, once you visualize and feel like a champion, there's one last thing you need to do in order to successfully manifest with this meditation routine. And it all has to do with the term deposit account and soup.
Huh?
Please allow me to explain. I'm German, as you can probably hear from my Arnold Schwarzenegger-esque accent. Get to the chopper. And as a German, I am biologically hardwired to love low-risk investments, and that's why I absolutely adore fixed-term deposit accounts in banks, where you put your money in, you get a certain percentage as interest, and then you don't think about it anymore. And manifesting with Joe Dispenza's meditations is kinda like that. Every time you meditate while holding the image of your abundant future in your mind and feeling the emotions of this future, you reach the frequency of abundance. The more times during the day you reach the frequency of abundance, the more time you spend in this frequency. And the more time you spend in it, the faster your manifestation can materialize. In other words, consistency, consistency, consistency. That's what leads to a reality that is far more abundant than you can possibly imagine. Because then you receive compound interest from your frequency. In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza recommends daily mindful attention, and he invites us to ask ourselves, what am I broadcasting on a daily basis? This leads us to meditation step number 5. Swim in the river of change and trust the soup. So what is trusting the soup all about? Now that you're reaching the frequency of abundance on a daily basis, you have to let go. And you have to stop doing this. When will my manifestation show up? How will my manifestation show up?
Oh my God, that's none of your business. That's my job.
You need to have faith in the underlying forces of the universe that will make sure that you receive all the synchronicities, all the signs, all the serendipities that will then lead you directly to the amount of money that you want to see in your bank account. Don't worry about it. The universe will take care of you.
I'll be there for you. Da 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 da.
In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza actually explains to us that we have to let go of the obsession of how our manifestation will materialize, and that we have to let the quantum field do that. We just have to surrender, let go, and trust. And in case my German brain has completely misunderstood the meaning of trust the soup, then you also have to let go of the attachment to that. And speaking of letting go, in order for you to arrive at your desired abundant reality, you must let go of all the limiting beliefs that are currently holding you back. And the big issue is that most people have limiting beliefs about money that they are not even consciously aware of, but they are hidden deep in their subconscious mind because of past experiences. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on in week number 1 of my 8-week one-on-one coaching program, the Abundance Reality Shift Coaching Program. And if you're ready to find out more about it, and you're also ready to watch countless testimonials from previous coaching clients, then you can go to affirmationtomanifestation.com/abundance or click on the first link in the description. And if you also want to have a look at my audio program, the 11 Days to Manifestation Mastery program, and all the incredible bonuses you get for free by investing in it, then you can go to affirmationtomanifestation.com/mastery or click on the second link in the description. And at the beginning of this video, I told you that I was able to go from $1,000 a month to $30,000 a month with Joe Dispenza's meditations. And if you're ready to find out exactly how I accomplished this, you can watch this video next.